Coming off the second National Day for Truth and Reconciliation across Canada, the topic of reconciliation is a key element in Winnipeg's upcoming mayoral election. So how do candidates vying to become the city's 44th mayor plan to address reconciliation if elected?
I would argue that I've already done a lot more than any of the other candidates.
Glenn Murray says when he served as the city's 41st mayor from 1998 to 2004, Winnipeg became one of the first cities to introduce land treaty entitlements. He says too many topics in the city are on hold, including reconciliation and reparation with Indigenous people.
As mayor, I will take personal responsibility for ensuring the city government is following the commitments that we made implicitly and explicitly to First Nations people.
Murray says there is, in his words, an Indigenous renaissance happening in Winnipeg right now, which should be celebrated. He says he promises to put Indigenous issues on the forefront, including the topic of reconciliation, if he were to be elected mayor on October 26th. Robert Falcon-Willett is Cree and Métis and is calling on Winnipeggers to elect the city's first First Nations mayor. He says reconciliation is related to everyone.
Think about the homeless. 75% are Indigenous. We want to have reconciliation. Let's get the homeless off the streets. Let's work with Indigenous governments to do this and make our lives for everyone better. Reconciliation is about all of us together, not just Indigenous peoples by themselves, but everyone. If we actually want to find and develop the city properly, we have to have someone who has the link directly to the mayor's office and the mayor to make sure there's a follow-through with what's actually going on.
Catherine LaGrange from the 60s Scoop Legacy of Canada said it's important for the next mayor to continue the ongoing relationship between the city and Indigenous people that was started by current Mayor Brian Bowman.
There is some economic reconciliation that could really happen, returning of land primarily, parks. There's always an opportunity for First Nations to take over parks and really reestablish their presence in the Winnipeg area. It'll be interesting to see who is elected, and we're definitely watching closely.
Candidate Rick Schoen wants the city to work with Indigenous governments to do more to help Indigenous newcomers find work in Winnipeg. Sean Loney has promised to work with Indigenous elders to create a program for men and boys to promote safety for Indigenous women. And Kevin Klein has promised to create a new position at City Hall to promote Indigenous economic well-being. Winnipeggers will elect their next mayor and members of City Council on October 26th. In Winnipeg, Alex Karpa, City News.